Hey guys, this is Jakub from oxygentutorials.com with my very own and first oxygen tutorial, and I'm gonna be making at least one a week if everything goes as planned, and I'm gonna try to keep these tutorials as short as possible. So, for example, in this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to make a custom query for related products using not the built-in function of Oxygen, but we're going to do it using an Oxygen repeater. So maybe the next one we can do a slider with this maybe because there's actually the benefit of using the Oxygen repeater function. We make our own HTML markup. We add as much divs as we want. We can put custom classes inside the divs, and so on, so on. So it gives us more flexibility. Another thing why you see here, I've got my my page with demo product, and another thing why I wanted to make this section custom is because of this. It's written in Slovak, but it's essentially it means add to cart, and this is kind of a strange function when you have variable products on your website. You've surely noticed this. When you have a single product, it takes you straight to the cart, so you can add the product into in the shopping cart. And when the product is variable, it takes you to the product detail where you choose which kind of product, which size, for example, or which color you want to buy. And this is at least for me and for a couple of my clients, they don't understand why this is made in such a way. So maybe the better version would be to have a default button which would always take you to the product detail page to avoid confusion. So this is essentially why I'm doing this. And another thing is that I want to make a slider out of this section, but that's a story for another tutorial. So we're gonna open up our structure panel here, and I'm actually going to add another section below this one. And here I'm going to make the custom query. I'm going to add a repeater. Those of you who are familiar with Oxygen and with Oxygen repeater and custom fields and custom post types, you're pretty aware how this works. But not everybody is familiar maybe with this function. So I'm just going to say a couple of things. Essentially, when you put inside a repeater, it generates a div, and inside this div you put all of the content which you want to have on the front end. Then the repeater will make a query for the content you've entered here. So actually, we want to do a custom query. And when we click on post type, we want to select products. So this will loop through all of the products, which is kind of fine, but we want to do related products. We don't want Oxygen to loop through all of the products, but we'll get to that later in the video. So first we just make a custom query, Then I'm going to select the product count option, put in 4, and this will generate 4 divs. So essentially, what the repeater function does, it repeats this div and everything that is inside of the div uh, 4 times. If I would have put in 8, it would the number 8, it would generate 8 divs. So let's put in some content to visualize this a little bit more. So we would like to have an image. So, but we can either select an image from here, just type in image, or another option, we can go inside the dynamic data and we can pull out the featured image, which will actually get the featured image of the product which is first in the query, in the loop. If we were to put inside another post type, a different post type, it would get the featured image for that post type. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory till this point. Below the image, we're going to put our title. Okay, that's fine. Then we maybe want to put in the price, but as you see here, the price is not located here in the dynamic data card, in the dynamic data tab, sorry. So we need to go inside WooCommerce and put in the product price. Sorry, I'm gonna just type it inside. Okay, so product price. Yeah, that's okay. And below that, we're going to generate our button. Just a simple button, not a product card button. Just a simple button because, as I mentioned before, we want this button to take us directly to the permalink of the product, to the detail. You can see that this button is kind of funny looking, but that's because of the custom design we made to the website. We have an SVG background clipping mask on all of the buttons. So we just type more info, for example. We make the button a little larger. We push the text size up to 20 pixels or maybe 24. What the heck? We can change the color. As you see here, I've got already some global colors defined here. So we pick our color. And we maybe just want to make some hover effect. So just put in a different color on the hover. And what the heck, maybe we want to make some transition between those two colors. So just put in a transition of like 0.3 seconds. It depends on you. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna look what we've got. One thing, guys, what I actually forgot to mention, I've got the oxygen enhancer from X installed in my WordPress installation. So this is why the interface of Oxygen can be a little bit different than yours. But actually, I really recommend this plugin. It's the free version. He's also got the paid version, which you can check out at his website. I can put a link down below. So anyway, let's get back to the website. So here is our custom feed, and as you see, it's just displaying random products. And this is what we don't want. The first thing you see that this is displayed on the full width of the page, and this is another thing that we don't want. So first, when we go to the repeater element and we select layout, and we select this layout, so mm, the the divs inside the repeater will be stacked horizontally, not vertically, and that's what we want. And another thing, we're gonna check this box, allow multi-line, and what this will do is that it will enable us to have several lines, to have the divs in several lines. It essentially uh, puts in this flex wrap for the child elements. If we were to uncheck it, and for example we put in a width of 25% on desktop, then we go to the tablet view and we put in a width of 50%, and on the mobile below 480 pixels is actually something you can change. You can choose your own breakpoints, but we'll get to that in another video, maybe sometime. And so we put in 100% width on the mobile. But when we save this and go back to the front end, it actually doesn't work because of the wrap. You see, it's not the elements are not stacking below them, and that's because of the flex wrap. We need to enable this. So let's go back to the repeater layout. Select this one, allow multi-line, save it, go back to the front end, and here you can see on the tablet we got two rows, two columns. On the mobile view, we've got everything stacked up in one column. And when I go on a large screen, it's the child elements are stacked horizontally. So a couple of things we can do here. We can change the font size to, I don't know, 24 pixels of this title. One thing I forgot to mention, when you get this featured image, because we put it already in, like from the dynamic data tab. Maybe it's better to put inside a normal image and then select the image URL to select this data button and select it from here, because what it does here, it gives you an option to select which image size you want to generate. So actually here I usually generate a thumbnail, because you don't want like 2 or I don't know 1.5 megapixel images generated here, and you want the same height. So most of the time you want to select the thumbnail option, but just keep in mind the thumbnail shouldn't be smaller than the div itself, because then you will have pictures which are not very pretty to look at. So anywho, we go here to the advanced section. We put in like maybe 30 pixel margin here. We put in another 30 pixel margin here, and what the heck, let's have it aligned. Let's have all of the child elements of this div. Let's have them aligned to the center. So yeah, and we've got maybe make this a little bit larger. 20 pixels, what the heck. Okay, and one last thing we want to do here is to put a URL here, and we are going to select permalink. This will always dynamically put in the permalink of the post type we are looping through. So if we were to have like a custom post type or maybe just classic WordPress post, it will link to the post, to the exact post. So just going to save it. We're going to try it out. I'm going to close this responsive view and click on the button, and voila, it takes me to the product. But it's it's the same product that I had before. So, and that's something we don't want. The last thing we want to do here is we want to narrow down the selection of the products which are in the loop. So, and there, here's where this custom build function comes in handy, and we're going to put a code block. Actually, what I'm going to do in this on my website, I'm going to put a link to the time where the more experienced users can skip, because some of the users don't want to see this entire process for how I made the entire repeater, the entire section, and maybe they want to skip ahead. So I'm going to link the time as well. So let's put a code block here, but we don't want it here. We want it here on the top of the section. This is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, maybe actually it should work if it were down here, or maybe not, because it's a PHP code, so maybe it wouldn't work actually. Anyway, I'm going to put it on the top of the section, and it's gonna work. So okay here, and I'm going to copy the entire code between these two lines, because you gotta have these two lines here. These are the opening and the closing lines for PHP code. And what it actually does, it makes a custom query for this entire repeater, and it loops through only the products which are in the same category. We're going to if some of you guys want, we can modify this function a little bit and make it loop through tags, or for example through subcategories, because in some cases it would be better to loop through subcategories, or maybe a combination. For example, if you've got like only two products in the same subcategory, it would be maybe better to loop through the subcategories, so it would display the two. Then the other two, they could be looped in the parent category, because you need to fill out all of the four positions, or maybe through the same product tag. Anything. If you've got some suggestions, guys, on how to improve this code, actually that would be great. So we're going to apply this code, and we're going to save it, and we're going to look on our front end. And as you see here, now we have only the products from the same category displayed here in this section. Maybe it's kind of chaotic. Maybe for some people this is actually a good thing, because you want to promote some supplementary products for this exact product. So maybe for some people this would be good. Some of you maybe want a different query. So as I said before, guys, any suggestions are are welcome. And now I'm going to do a couple of things, and these will be again the things for the less experience. Uh, I'm going to do just some design tweaks. So let's get back to Oxygen, and you can go to the repeater element, to the layout section, and you can set the horizontal alignment to distribute the space between the child elements. So the first and the last element would be aligned to uh, the edge of the document of the page, and uh, the divs or the elements inside of these two uh, would be aligned in a way so the free space would be distributed evenly between these elements. And in order for this to work, you actually need to have a weight of less than 25% because when you distribute when you want to have four columns, you can distribute the width in 25%. So you put in like 23 maybe. Okay, let's check the front end. And here we can see that we finally have some free space between these elements. And we're just going to repeat this here on the tablet section. So we're just going to put in like, I don't know, 47 or 46 maybe. What the heck? Just put in 46. And actually on mobile, we're going to keep 100 because we want to have the elements to be stretched to the full width of the page, and we've got some padding like by default in our document, so that's fine. It won't be stretched from one edge to the other edge, for example, on your smartphone, but there will be actually some padding because the section already has some paddings predefined. So let's jump inside our console and check the responsive view. And you see when we go smaller, it stacks below, and there is always some space between these elements. And okay, this is pretty much it. Maybe just one last thing. If you would want to make some hover effects, some transition, you could either just apply some effects on this image, but it would be better to not have this in an image HTML tag, but have it like rather generate a div with a background and just apply some zoom on the background, or maybe you could generate a div with some overlay color, which you would position absolutely here in this corner, and stretch it to 100% width and 100% height of this div, and on hover effect it would go like right through this element. But these are like some CSS tweaks which are maybe for another video. So let's just for the sake of this video, let's apply some transition effect on the entire div, something simple. So let's just go to the advanced section, select the hover state, and let's just do transform, and let's do a scale. You can see the three axes, X, Y, and Z. We just want to stretch the element on the X scale and on the Y scale. And we can go back to the original state from the hover state and just put in some transition duration so it goes smoothly. I'm going to show you how it works without the transition. It just jumps from its original scale to the 0.05 scale, and we don't want this. We always want some smooth transitions. So we're just going to do the same thing which we did with this button. We're just gonna select transition and put in like maybe want a little the transition to take a little more time than just the transition on the button. So we'll put in 0.5 seconds, and you can already see the effect on even in the editor mode, even if when you're in Oxygen. This is the beauty of Oxygen, actually, that it shows you everything like almost one-to-one. So you see everything that you're doing in real time. And well, that's it. Just save it, check the front end, and voila, we have a beautiful transition. Another thing you could do, you could put a link wrapper on this image and make it link to the product detail page, to the permalink of the product. You could put a link wrapper here, and so on. So on. There are like endless stuff you could do actually with this, but the purpose of this video was to show you how to make a custom related product section. So now we can actually delete this section, and we're just gonna put a fancy heading here called related products, and we are going to align it to the center of the page, and we're just going to put in some margin. Let's put in 70. What the heck? Because we've already got a pretty reasonably large margin here, so why not even it out a little bit, and voila, here it is. So thanks for your time, guys. If you find this video helpful, please let me know. Also, if you would like to see some other stuff related to the repeater function, or to this related products tutorial, so let me know. And please, I would really welcome some feedback on the way I presented this issue too. I would like to improve my skills, because this is like literally the first tutorial I've made in my entire life, so it will be really beneficial for me if I get some feedback from you. Don't worry to criticize my work, as actually a thing that pushes people further. So anywho, have a good one, and I'm really looking forward to another video. So cheers, guys.